Bienvenidos to La Bruja Espinada, and I am here with a very special Virgo new moon reading. So let's get started. We are just out of Mercury retrograde. That does not mean that we are totally out of the way of its effects. There will still be some lingering communication technology issues. There are also some wrap-ups that you need to finish if it had affected you. Be mindful of whose presence, of your presence rather. Be mindful of your presence, because your presence may have just played a part in someone else's healing journey. Not necessarily seeing them means that they're part of yours. So with that being said, we have the Queen of Cups. It makes lots of sense. The Emperor, ooh, very good, and the Wheel of Fortune. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, ooh, the Star, Judgment, the Four of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Ace of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles and Temperance. I'm going to stop right there. There might be a little bit more pulls. At this point, we're just going to be reiterating a lot of different things, but this is a very, very good reading. So here we go. Now, where to begin? The Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, someone who is on another level in regards to their feelings, their emotion, their mental wellness. Now, a queen, while very powerful in their own right, a queen has a lot of power. Now, if you want to go through the hierarchical stages, they're just right below a king. However, there is a difference in regards to the way that we see sovereignty. Whereas we think the king has all the power and the queen, while having lots of power, is the right hand of the king. That is true in some aspects, but we fail to remember how much the right hand has influence over a king. They are their advisor. They are the guidance provided to them, the voice in their ear in what to do next. They are their voice is what can help tip the scale in one way or another. So the Queen of Cups, notice how they are sitting pensive amongst water, looking at the flying fish. Now, one of the things to think about is that this is a different level. You have had a rough few moon cycles of a lot of learning, a lot of pain, a lot of obstacle, a lot of learning experiences, as we like to call them. Yes, while they may have been a type of hindrance, a blockade, a struggle, it is still nonetheless a learning experience, one that is greatly needed. So that's why the Queen is here, kind of pointing out that while trying to lead to that level of ascension, such as trying to become the Emperor, that who is connected with the divine to lead the life that you want, that ultimate level that you've been aspiring to reach, it's that queen, that pensiveness, looking back in what you have learned and applying everything that you have learned in order to continue ascending to this level. And then it's followed by the Wheel of Fortune. Now remember, the Wheel of Fortune has come out in other readings. The Wheel of Fortune is that reminder that yes, while these cycles happen again and again, it depends on the changes that you have made in order to determine where that wheel will land. So take, for instance, things happen again. being in search of a new job, having to be in connection with new people. The situations seem to be reminiscent of things in the past, right? Well, the Wheel of Fortune, if you've ever seen the show Wheel of Fortune, it's kind of like that. It depends on the force in which you spin, the technique that you use. Are you going to use one hand or two hands? Are you going to really use the momentum of your full body? Are you going to do a different motion, it all depends on the way you approach the situation that will determine where you land on the Wheel of Fortune. So, as you have been pensive, using everything you've learned to continue ascending has determined where you land on the Wheel of Fortune. Hopefully, applying these things that you've learned will make a difference in how you approach it in the future. This is just all of this. This is all good. This is all like positive. There's I don't want to say there's no negative, because there's always a little bit of negative in the way. Nothing can be perfect all day, every day. But this kind of highlights the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is the full emotional fulfillment that you've been trying to achieve. There is abundance. There's rainbows after the sun. There's rainbows after the storm. There is a lot of happiness, a lot of emotional fulfillment here. That's what it's being exhibited. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is an indicator of already seeing the fruits of your labor being born. So here is just that idea of like, hey, you've had all these ideas. Now they're really starting to show all the ideas, everything that you've been working towards, everything that you've been wanting to aspire, all that creative work is finally coming through. Following with that, we have the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is the wealthiest in regards to resources. They know how to manage their abundance. They know that it is important to give back in order to keep receiving. So in that sense, there is that ascension that has been being looked for. There is some financial abundance. That goes to show that if you have not gotten there yet, you're so close, because there is the star. The star is that reminder that don't give up. All your hard work is going to pay off. You have to trust your gut in the new decisions that you have made. If you made the same old decisions from the past, expecting a difference, you're not going to reap the rewards that you've been wanting. The whole point of the Wheel of Fortune is you had to do something different this time around. Now, the reason why I take that little negative, quote unquote, that little negative note is because we have the Judgment card. The Judgment card here, when it comes out, is having to look at things from a different perspective. It is determining that struggle. It's taking that struggle and really learning how to master the difference, mastering that lesson that you were supposed to learn. It's coming at it from a different perspective, really. Judgment, there's so many different ways that judgment can play into this, but judgment ultimately is how are you working towards making it work for you. I feel like there's going to be some confusion with this card. With the Judgment card, as you see here, someone is doing the full Gomukhasana pose, which is the cow face pose. It is a pretty tricky move to work through, to master, because it takes flexibility, but it also takes strength to be able to achieve this pose, being really one with the body. In the back, you will see that there are crashing waves, that there are some clouds in the sky, there are stars that are glowing. There's a lot of different things that impact the way that all of this, all of what we are shown in this reading right now, there's a lot that goes into the lessons that should have been learned. Now, I say should have been because not everyone learns the lesson when it comes to the Wheel of Fortune. Sometimes we think, if I do it again, but this time I don't give up, and then issues might arise. That's not for all of you, that's for some of you. But that's the thing where this can be the case with anybody. That's when it comes to the Wheel of Fortune and Judgment, it's just that reminder of, yes, things can be going great, but be objective. Have a clear vision of stepping back, looking at the bigger picture. Don't just look at the trees that are in front of you. Look at the overall arching view, pictures. Just be mindful of that. Don't keep the rose-tinted glasses on. You really have to, no matter when things are going great, which is great. I'm not saying be paranoid. I'm not saying like don't trust it. What I'm saying is you still have to apply the practice of taking a step back, looking at the bigger picture. That way you can see, hey, is this really coming into view? And the reason why I say this is because the Judgment card following the star, which is the Star of Hope, is, while you can continue to be hopeful, it's just use your better judgment by taking a step back as a regular practice. Just like you go to the physician, you should go to the physician on an annual basis just to continue to maintain when something is wrong, not just going to the doctor when you feel ill. Because if you're only going when you feel ill and you haven't been following up on a regular basis, that there are times that you have felt well, you don't know what the doctors will not know what's your normal if you always go when you're abnormal. Does that make sense? Now, I know there's not a lot of people that go on a regular basis, and you should, for whatever reason, but it's always good to double check that there's nothing wrong with you. That being said, if you only go and say like, it's because they always find something wrong with me. Well, if you would have gone more regular and fixed what was wrong the first time, you wouldn't be where you are today. That goes for a lot of people, actually. Anywho, that being said, that had to be said because that was just, it's got to flow out. So again, Judgment, stepping back as a regular practice. We have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is that indicator of, understanding that this is a reminder that while things in the past may not have turned out the way that you wanted, that doesn't say to give up altogether, when just right there is what it is that you truly been aspiring for. There's something better. There's always something better. That doesn't mean that you should have a tantrum just like this individual here, sitting there refusing to be like, no, it's never worked out. I don't want it. That's not the right one. And it's an indicator of like, no, it is the right one. Kind of like, don't act like a bratty child right now. That's not to say that you can't feel your emotions, but don't stay there too long. There's nothing wrong with feeling what you have to feel, like this sucks, that didn't work out the way I wanted it, that didn't work out the way I wanted it, all this fell apart, or having the Goldilocks mindset of like, this is too hot, this is too cold. The just perfect is right there, but don't just sit there and be like, I refuse to try anything else. That's not how the Wheel of Fortune works. And the reason why these little hiccups here, and these are the only small hiccups, or rather, I wouldn't say a hiccup, I say these are learning experiences still that you should still apply. Take that as a different perspective as you think back on it while trying to ascertain this and get the Wheel of Fortune to work in your favor, is really take this to mind. This is a reminder to anyone out there to make stepping back and looking at the bigger picture a regular practice, and don't give up. Don't give up just because it wasn't the way that you wanted it to go. Don't give up. It's still there. Now, If you're in that sense of feeling that, hey, maybe there's a small change that you have to make, but you don't know what yet, the Seven of Cups is that reminder that just pick anything. Pick any of your passions. Pick anything that makes your heart swell with happiness and desire and fulfillment. This is that reminder, hey, just pick anything. If you haven't picked anything yet, just pick anything, whether it's primarily focusing, I'm not saying, and I say primarily because you should focus on all these things, right? But primarily focusing on more of a spiritual path, more of a physical path, more of an emotional path. There's so many different things that you can do that you will excel in, but as hard as it is to try to focus on one, I feel like I have a lot of maybe people that are super multitasking because either due to ADD, ADHD, that could be the case. I know that's particularly me, but this is just that reminder, you can pick anything, just primarily focus on one. Devote more time to one, but you gotta pick. Even if you gotta roll some dice to decide. With that, or flip a coin, whatever you need to do. But it will work out in your favor because we have the Six of Swords. That is victory. That is the show that, hey, this is a victory in your favor as you are moving forward to something new. And I say new because now we're followed by a bunch of aces and pages. We have the Ace of Cups, new emotional feelings to deal with, new experiences to work through mentally, emotionally, which is a good thing. Think back using your Queen of Cups on how you want to change the way you feel and emotionally handle everything that you have coming to you. Then we're followed by the Fool. Remember, the Fool is being protected by their guard dog as they are walking towards the new things. But as the Fool is here, it's great to be hopeful, but again, it's that reminder, be hopeful, but make it a practice to step back and look at the bigger picture. The Fool is someone who does not yet know in their beginning stages how to move forward. So mind you, you are victorious. You have learned. There are a bunch of things going in your favor. This is a new beginning, and emotionally, so there's two different things that you have to focus on, especially when it comes to the Fool. So if you're seeking some guidance and where to go next, here's your focus. Not only do you need to learn how to be financially ready to accept the abundance that you've been asking for, whatever resources that you've been asking for, you need to focus on that. Focus on that financial stability that you anticipate to have with the emotions of handling a new life. Just remember to be patient, as we have Temperance here. Temperance is always that reminder that while some of you want it here, now, it's not up to you to decide that. You got to be patient. Got to be patient with this new learning experience. Reinforcing the emotional, mental stability part, or wellness part rather, with the Ace of Cups, we have the Page of Cups. Really work to provide some of that dedication to your emotional/mental wellness. As that is another card that came out. Okay. Okay. So make that your main focus. And the reason why you're getting this is your hint from the divine, your higher power, whoever you call upon. This is the message for you to really, if you're going to be focusing on anything and must multitask, financial stability, spiritual came out, so mental, emotional, spiritual wellness. But if you need it narrowed down, like that's way too much. Financial wellness, emotional wellness. Focus on those two right now. Because if you don't focus on something, you're going to become overwhelmed again, and then you are going to try to push through without really learning. We have the Nine of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. You're going to overwork yourself, and honestly, like the rest of the cards that come out are like all about struggle. That's what you've been trying to avoid. So in order to avoid it, I'm letting you know now: emotional wellness, financial responsibility. Cool. So moving on with the Mighty Fates. What additional messages or lessons do you have to add to this reading? And since this is a Virgo new moon, it's all about practicality. It's about really planning out how, I don't want to say aesthetics. Aesthetic is the word that wants to come out, but that one card, please. But the way that you picture your life, that's what I refer to when I say aesthetic. It's like that what you have pictured for your future. It's use practicality. You know, like, yes, you can have lots of hopes and dreams, but use your judgment. Okay, but what's a more practical way to get this done? Sometimes we're like, well, I know I need this and I need this, and then what you need is a little bit out of your reach, whether financially or not. But that's just that indicator of like, okay, let's be practical. What is a better way? What is another way? If you can't afford all the help books, is it possible to go to your local library and be able to access that information, or reach out to a librarian in order to find out how to access that information? And they might be able to help you. Be practical. That's why you have to take a step back. I'm like, okay, immediately, I know I can order it through Amazon, but I can't afford it right now. So how about we find other means of finding those resources? Local library is always the best thing. And I'm not just saying that because, outside of this, I work in a library. Anywho, the message of the faith is manifest. We're in the new moon. So new moon is when we set our intentions for the manifestations as they come. So manifest. This is a lot of manifestation and a lot of building on that hope that you've been wanting to make all these changes. And the changes are coming. If you learn to take that step back and apply the things you need to learn. So moving forward, we will go with manifest. Let's see, 56. Manifest, here we go. This card signals a period of time where your manifestations work and would be extra potent. What you have been working towards, it's on its way to you. If you feel anxious or obsessive, it is time to release it and let the universe work some magic. When we are working on manifesting, it is important that we do the following. We must be clear on what we want, not what we don't want. We imagine and visualize ourselves experiencing it. This means tapping into feelings we would have if we did have it. After we have focused on it long enough, we must release it so it can be manifested. That means don't think about it anymore. It's really hard, but it needs to be done. This card asks you to examine your process. Are you lacking clarity in your desires? Are you sending the universe mixed signals by focusing on what you don't want or what you lack? Are you too focused? Reflect on how you show up for your manifesting practice and make any adjustments that need to be made. Oh, this one hits so hard. Okay, I have worked with, and trust me, I've been there, and it is a practice. You have to practice this. That's the only way that it works, because I've done it too, and this is why the manifestation, this is the whole point. And you really have to take the step back and utilize the bigger picture to see what it is. Now, one of the biggest practices that's really, really hard to do is thinking about, what I don't want this, well, I don't want that, and I don't want it to happen like this. That's all well and dandy. But what do you want? You can say what you don't want, but you're also not going to get what you do want because you're focusing too much on what you don't want. And the universe is like, okay, I get it. You don't want that, but what do you want? Be clear and intentional what you do want, and only focus on that. Don't add anything. I don't want this because I want this because I don't want this. Don't add the because I don't want this. Just focus on what you do want. Now, also the letting go, like, you say your wish, you say what it is that you want to manifest, and leave it at that. The universe will give to you, but if you keep asking and asking and asking and asking in a cycle because you feel like it hasn't come to you, it's not going to come to you. You have to let go, like they say, let go and let God, okay? Like, once you have that sent out, you have to trust the universe to give it to you, and you got to be patient about it. Just because it doesn't come to you tomorrow, in a week, in a month, doesn't mean it's not coming to you. Because once you say it and you keep saying it, have you even focused on the time to be emotionally and financially ready to even receive what it is that you want? Are you focusing so much on asking that you have not focused on working on yourself to make it happen, to receive? A plane cannot land where nothing has been cleared. That's why there's runways. If there is something on the runway, a plane cannot land. If you have not cleared the runway for landing, how do you anticipate your manifestation to arrive? I don't make this shit up. Animal spirit guides, what messages do you have to close this out with? I know that slapped a couple of you in the face, and I'm just saying, what? I'm just a vessel for the messages, guys, that's all. I'm just saying what needs to be said. But you really need to put this into practice, because you've been overwhelmed long enough and you're tired of being overwhelmed. Take this advice and you'll stop being so overwhelmed. Animal spirit guides. What message? Ooh. We have two. We have Spirit Has Your Back with the Eagle Spirit. And we have Embrace the In-Between, which is this. I know this one hits this hard, but I don't think I've had an eagle card come out in one of my readings. So, Eagle Spirit. Eagle Spirit says, think of the eagles flying high above the other birds, soaring in the wind. Eagle Spirit has appeared to ask whether you're willing to soar to new heights, even if that means solitude for a short while. Truly, all the wisdom of the world is available to you. When storms flash across the sky, it is Eagle Spirit that raises you above it all, helping you conquer fear and overcome adversity, reminding you that Spirit has your back and wants you to experience life at its fullest. At this moment, you are meant to know that you have the highest of wisdom and courage within, gifted to you by Spirit and all the angels. Boldly build your nest in a lofty space and know that now you can fly effortlessly, proudly embodying Eagle Spirit in all her glory and grace, claiming what is truly yours in divine timing. If you're walking awkwardly and feeling embarrassed, Eagle Spirit is here to tell you that it's only because right now you're meant to fly. Soar over the troubles that you have been feeling, that have you feeling scared and alone. See the big picture, and yet retain your eagle eye for the details that help you claim your wisdom and courage. Or perhaps you're making yourself small for the sake of getting others to accept you. Now it is not the time to be vulnerable and dependent, for you have the wings to fly on your own, and you need to do that at this time. There is no need to huddle in a shelter or even seek out a flock to support you. For Eagle Spirit says you have tremendous wisdom and courage within. Let it arise so that you might soar proudly with the angels serving as the wind beneath your wings. From these heights, you can make the best and most powerful choices for the highest good of all. I don't make this shit up, guys. Moving on, let us go to Flamingo Spirit. Trust me, I know Flamingo Spirit is going to hit home. Balance comes easily to Flamingo Spirit, who sees what was and what will be and stands strong in the face of uncertainty. You can be informed by what came before and plan for a future yet to be. But do not resist Flamingo Spirit's call to be fully present in the now, where the real magic happens. With one foot in the life you are moving away from one, and in one future, as you become the one who leads the life of your highest intentions, you must make peace with the fact that you're not fully in either place. Embrace the in-between. The presence of Flamingo Spirit is also a sign that your creativity is arising within you and beginnings and opportunities. Are arising within you and opportunities are beginning to present themselves. Remain here in a balanced state of mind, for there's so much to know and learn before moving forward with your new plans. I call these cards on this side over here. You can trust this moment and yourself as you take in what you see and become aware of all that you are experiencing in this in-between time. If you're feeling nervous and wobbly, stop worrying about the past and future. Instead, be present in the moment, balancing. For now is the space in which creativity arises. Creativity is your birthright. But if you're moving too quickly in an attempt to avoid the discomfort of transition, you can blind yourself to the miraculous possibilities that are before you now, and those just coming into being. The past has its lessons and planning has its merits, but right now you may be imbalanced because you're becoming too nostalgic for once was or too anxious about what the future might hold. There is time to plan carefully. For now, be still and know that Spirit is here co-creating with you in this moment. The next step will appear when it needs to appear. Relax into a state of equanimity and balance so any anxiety can transmute into trust and faith that all will be as it will for the highest good. I don't make this shit up. So, my dears, I sincerely hope this message helped, and be patient. Embrace the in-between, because Spirit has your back. Sincerely hope this helped, and I'll see you guys 2 more times this month because we do have the change of the season. Now's the perfect time to put everything into plan. So I'll see you for the next reading.